Hey, this is another great video by Ricky Kennerly Cichlids. What we're looking at in this video is how I got my Frontosas to breed again. In this particular case, Spyro and Toe had been moved about a year ago from one aquarium to another. They had got an upgrade. More room, I thought things would be better for them. I also kept some of their young with them. So how did I get them to breed again? Because I've been frustrated. I had so much success for years on my Frontosas, breeding every 6 weeks, just Frontosas, and I still have 8 aquariums full of Frontosas from how I bred them before. So how did I get them to breed again? How did I do it? So in this video I'm going to be touching on some of the things I've changed and some of the things you've already heard about. But for you those who just watched this particular video, you're going to get some really good new information, and for those of you who have been watching my videos ongoing, you get to see the exciting video footage of my Frontosa holding again. And this is a great Frontosa. Toe is one of my more beautiful Frontosas. The offspring that Spyro and Toe have is the best offspring I have. They sell the best. They bring the most money. So this is exciting. So stay tuned for this video. So recently I've been having a lot of videos on the change in diet for my colony, and I've also started changing the diet of some of my other Frontosa aquariums. What I first started to do is I started changing to raw deveined peeled shrimp, which is an economical way of really good protein food. And it was working really well. But then I remembered in the years past, the food that I used the most, that I had the best success with as far as getting my Frontosas to breed, was artificial crab meat. Artificial crab meat is what I use to get my Frontosas in the breeding condition, the health, because the females have to gain weight. They have to gain weight, size and weight to breed, because they don't really eat for up to 30 days. Now you could strip them before that, but in nature they'll go to about 25 to 30 days before they'll start eating. That's after they've let their Frontosas go. They may suck them back up after they've eaten, but it'll be taking about 30 days before they actually what they call spit out the fry. So I've changed recently to the artificial crab meat in the last few weeks, and I've done that. Was one of the main thing I've done to get these Frontosas to breed. Now there's a few other things I want to point out, and I'll show you that with the footage of the fish in the aquarium that I've changed in the aquarium, which I don't think had as big an impact as the change in diet. But I'll get with that in just a second. So let's go to some footage of the fish. So here's Spyro, and he's an excellent looking male. He's got some great blue colorations. He's very healthy, got a good appetite, and he's very good with his females. He doesn't beat them up. There's no aggression when they do the breeding process. So he's been an excellent male, breeder male. And what I've done recently in this aquarium, as far as an aspect with the actual alpha breeding male, is I changed his cave. And what I did, I changed it back to the smaller version, because the big version was taking too much room in the aquarium, so I allowed them to have a bigger breeding area and the sand there, and that's basically where they bred, around the cave and the sand area. So this is a 75-gallon aquarium. It only has a pair of Frontosas, and it also has some plecos in here. And these are some really nice plecos, but they don't bother anything as far as in the breeding process of the Frontosas. So what I did as well is I took out the offspring of Spyro and Toe, because when it looked like they were about to breed, they were out in the center of the aquarium and they were showing their breeding colors and their breeding patterns. They looked like the young were waiting for them to drop some eggs so they could scoop them up and eat them. So I decided, after a tip from a viewer, I don't really think he was meaning what he was saying, but he said, hey, maybe the kids are disturbing the fish, because this aquarium is on the floor, and that's keeping them from breeding. So I started thinking about that, and I thought, hey, it could be that the young in this aquarium was disturbing, the Frontosa young were disturbing the breeding process. So I took them out of here a few weeks ago, and I also started feeding them artificial crab meat. Now, I'm not going to have footage of them eating the artificial crab meat because basically she's holding, so she won't be eating. If you'll see there, let's see if I get it pretty good on the footage. Zone. Let me focus a little bit better. You can see that she's actually holding quite a bit. In the past, her bulge was not that big in the mouth area. And she normally had about 30 Frontosas, but I believe she's going to be holding more this time, which is great. Now you see I have a cave here for her to have security in. This way that the male Spyro is not bothering her. She has a place to go for security. He has a place to go for security, and that allows him to be relaxed for breeding. So basically what I did here, the change in diet to shrimp and then to artificial crab meat increased the water quality tremendously. Now that may have played a little bit of a role in the process of them breeding again, but I believe the protein and the nutrition of the food played the biggest role in them breeding. Now I saw some activity last night where I thought that they were going to breed, but I've seen it too many times in the past, so I didn't wait for them with the camera to get it on footage, because they fooled me in the past. But they actually bred soon after I noticed some behavior. I'm really excited about it. Now those are the things I've done, so let me reiterate what I've done. I changed the diet back to artificial crab meat, shrimp to begin with, but artificial crab meat. I took the young Frontosas out of the aquarium, so it's just basically the pair of Frontosas. I made a bigger breeding area for them to spawn in by taking out the big cave. It was massive, too big for this aquarium. And then the water quality improved because I changed the food. There's a lot less waste when you're feeding them artificial crab meat, so the water quality stays in a really pristine condition, even though you're feeding them some great, amazing food. So if you want to know what I have for filtration, I just have a small little sponge filter here, and that's basically in case the power goes off and this pump right here doesn't start up again. And it's for a little bit of aeration, some surface agitation. It doesn't do a lot. But then I have this right here, which is connected to a fluidized bed filter. That's the whole filtration I have for this system. So basically all I did was change the diet, get the young out of here, the water quality improved, and bam! They're breeding. I'm sure from now, once you get your fish to breed again, they normally breed right after another, every 6 weeks. Sometimes it could be 4 weeks, but they have to build back some nutrition to be able to go without eating for the 30 days or so. Now as far as stripping the Frontosas, I am going to be stripping, because even though this pair has lived with their offspring multiple times in the past, some of the Frontosas did get eaten by them. So I'm wanting to go mass yield on this, so I will be stripping them, and it'll probably be around the 18-day mark. I've done it before at the 15-day mark, and they still had a huge amount of egg sac back. So I'm going to be around the 18th day stripping them, and if they still have egg sacs, then I'll be putting them in a tumbler. Doesn't have to. I don't necessarily have to want them to be free swimming. When they're free swimming, the young, the Frontosas, a lot of times they'll swim back up into the female's mouth that's holding, and that causes some problems to get them all out. I don't want to stress the female, so if they have a little bit of egg sac come out, egg sac still on the Frontosa babies, they're more easily to strip, and they'll come out a lot easier, and they're harder to swim back up into the mother's mouth. So it's easier for me. So thanks again for watching Rookie Kennelly Cichlids. This has been how I got my Frontosas to breed again. Thanks for watching.